ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਜਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਜੂਕੇਟ ਹੋ ਸਕਣ ਟੁਡੇਜ਼ ਗੈਸਟ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਟੌਪੀਕਲ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਹੰਗਾਮਾ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰਤਾ ਫॉर ਗੁੱਡ ਔਰ ਬੈਡ ਇਟ ਸਪਾਰਕ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਵੈਰੀ ਹੈਪੀ ਟੂ ਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ 2 ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਸੈਚਰਡੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਿਨ ITV ਤੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਆਇਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਔਨ ਦ ਡੇਟਿੰਗ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਕੋਲਡ ਟੇਕ ਮੀ ਆਊਟ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ 30 ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਸੀ ਦੇ ਹੈਡ ਟੂ ਪਿਕ ਹਿਮ ਚਲੋ ਐਂਡ ਜੋ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਐਂਡ ਫੋਲ ਆਊਟ ਫਰੋਮ ਇਟ ਔਰ ਦ ਗੁੱਡ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਫਰੋਮ ਇਟ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ he's been on the BBC Asian network on BBC West Midlands now ਸਾਡੇ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ਕਿਸਮਤੀ ਹੈ he's with me and ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਇੱਥੇ to talk to him and the first thing is if I want to talk about someone and if any rule of TV is ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ you should invite that person on to give their point of view ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਕਰਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਆ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਫਾਈ ਦੇ That's no good. That's the first rule of justice as well. That's the first rule of journalism as well. If you're going to make allegations against somebody, you should bring them on to talk to the show. And I'm very happy to say कि मैं इन्होंने Twitter पे ऐड किया मैसेज किया कि Param I'd love to have you on the show and Param responded आ दे मेरा नंबर भाजी तू दस मैं कित्थे आवां कदों आवां and I'd like to talk to the public and yourself so Param welcome to the show.
Harjap, thanks so much for having me down. Yeah, brilliant.
Sat Sri Akal to everyone.
Sat Sri Akal, yeah, thank you. Sat Sri Akal to the audience as well.
Param ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆ ਦੱਸ ਤੇਰਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਰਿਹਾ on Take Me Out? How was your experience?
Oh यार the experience ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਰਿਹਾ. I was it's a real privilege to do a show with Paddy McGuinness. Yeah. I've made so many friends along the journey. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ 3 ਮੁੰਡੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਬੜੇ ਮਲਾਪੜੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਇੱਕ ਲਿਵਰਪੂਲ ਦਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਬੋਰਨਮਥ ਦਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਆਇਰਿਸ਼ ਮੁੰਡਾ So it's been a fantastic experience to sort of meet people and I've got to know the girls as well and some of them I've never met. A lot better than they wanted to know you on the show hopefully. Yeah. It's been really interesting because they may have never, some of them have never maybe met a Sikh before and
or anyone with a turban.
Or even a guy with a turban. So I think over the last sort of month as we've got to know each other they've got to understand me and my culture a little bit better.
Some of the principles.
Yeah, and some of the principles. And we've got a lot of respect for each other. So it's been a fantastic experience, really.
Param, how did this whole thing come about? What did they bring you up, or did you apply for it, or what?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I've been on the sort of singles market, as it were.
Shelf, we'll call it, mate. That market becomes a shelf very quickly.
Yeah, basically. I'm probably on the shelf now, to be fair.
It's better than being in the freezer. That's the next place. So you've been single for a while?
Yeah, I've been single for a while, and
you've been looking for.
I've been looking for a while, and I've tried a few of the different sort of avenues that.
What about the Desi system or Auntie and Shangi girls?
Yeah, I've tried the Desi system. What it is, my parents, we come from quite a small family, so my parents would have loved to introduce me to some girls, but they were like, Param ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੱਲਾ ਛੇੜੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਥ ਪੈਰ ਮਾਰ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹੇ. So, I'm having to go to sort of like speed dating type events, run by the big Asian sort of
Asian speed dating and stuff like
Asian speed date kind of events, with the sort of Gurdwara matrimonial service as well. And so I've tried all those, and on Shali.com as well, let's get that one in there.
Oh, you was on Shali.com as well?
Yeah. So I tried all those and wasn't necessarily having much luck. And then my brother just one day, he just sent a link. Pata nahi unhu kidda email link aaya Rabbi rakho to Rabbi janda. And he just said one line, and he says, Param, what do you think? And naal a link siga take me out da. मैं वे सोचा मैं क्या बाकी तो सारा कुछ तो ट्राई कर मार ली
तो ही हाथ तो मार लेने
ट्राई करा लेने So applied, and then the day after I got a call from the Take Me Out team and they said, Param, we really like your application. You seem like a really interesting guy. Tu aaja sade office aaja, audition kar la, and then we'll take it from there. So went to the office the next day. And they really liked me as a person. And that was it.
Well, how many did you see other applicants there as well, or not?
Yeah, there was loads of other applicants, to be honest.
Were there other Asians there?
No.
Anyone with a turban?
No.
So you was the only one?
Yeah.
So you must have felt a bit, hold on, I'm a bit intimidated here. Are they going to pick me or are they not? Or were you confident?
Yeah, to be fair, I think they may have given me more preference. I think they take me out, I was looking at the show this week, and they had a Welshman, and they make sure that they represent
the whole of the UK.
Whole of the UK.
Yeah, okay.
And they're trying to get the diversity of the UK on the show because it's a family show.
That's right, yeah.
It's sort of prime time, and it's a show.
And everyone of every
everyone.
culture watches it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think they're trying to make it as diverse as possible. So I think they were over the moon that a Pagwala Sardar sort of applied to the show. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So then you went to the auditions. What sort of stuff did they ask you at the auditions?
Yeah, so basically at the audition, you have to pretend you're coming down the lift, and they say, I was sort of, it's quite nerve-wracking because you basically have to do it. Like they do the whole thing where a goody gives you a comment and you have to come up with a comment.
Right, really, yeah.
If she says something about your kapre, what you're going to say back, and you have to be nice. So they teach you, they give you a little bit of training, you don't want to be...
Don't pick your nose and all that, don't start doing this.
Exactly, don't disrespect the girls and say something nice, make sure the other... Because ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਕੁੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿ ਦੋ, ਉਹ ਬਾਕੀ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਆ
ਟੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਪੈ ਜਾਣਾ
ਟੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਪੈ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਨੇ because they're all mates as well, they've been living together for like quite a while. So they train us in how to be good.
Polite.
How to be polite. That's
and sort of TV material.
Basically, yeah. We get a little bit of training on how to be sort of come across well and come across strong, confident, and all of that stuff. Yeah. It's still scary to do that.
Right.
When you have 20 cameras, you've got Paddy McGuinness, when you're on stage, you've got a big audience.
Was it a live audience there?
It was a live audience, of about 400 people. It's a very scary experience. Yeah, well, yeah.
Exactly. Now, tell me something, right? Were you conscious that if you were going to go on the show, then there was a chance of you getting some bad press as well? Or did you just go there positively and thinking, look, this has got to be a good experience?
Yeah, I think when you put yourself out there and you're doing something new and there's no one in the community that has done it, I think you have to expect that there's going to be two sides of a coin.
Yeah.
You have
I think that's fair to say.
That's fair to say, isn't it? I mean, also a good friend of mine was telling me that in the Taoist philosophy they have a circle with a black, half of it is a black and half of it is white, and there's a black and a white dot.
Yeah.
And what it represents is that with the dark is also the light, that you can't separate the two.
Right.
So almost, if you're going to expect, I've made loads of friends through the journey of being on Take Me Out, but there's also been my critics. So you almost have to expect one goes hand in hand with the other, because maybe almost you can't separate the two.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think Punjabi ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜੇ ਦਿਨ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਰਾਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਉਣੀ ਆ ਜੇ ਸੂਰਜ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਚੰਦਰਮਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਉਣਾ everything has an opposite and I think that's quite references are made to that in almost every religion where there's good there's always bad and that's what keeps the world in balance.
I think so.
ਜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਗੁੱਡ ਹੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਣ that's no good either. ਜੇ ਸਾਰੇ bad ਹੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਣ that's no
good either.
So ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ there's a balance. Now when you were on the show, right, and when you came down that lift, how many lights were you expecting to go out? Honestly, I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking, yaar, je do hi lights on rahe hain, taan hi shukar kar.
Yeah, shukar.
Sorry, I'm honest. I hope, you know, unless you had some big guns, Schwarzenegger style there, and you were sporting a big sort of look, and you barred your banana off, and you had a six-pack. And then I thought, really, everyone at home, I'm sure that must have gone through it. I thought, you must have thought as well that the turban and the beard might put off a lot of girls. Yeah,
I think. I mean, I don't have the build of a sort of an alpha male, a big Punjabi. I'm not sort of a 6'4", so I'm not Brad Pitt, so I don't have any of those things,
Not
unfortunately, God wasn't that kind when he gave me good looks. He was kind, but not that kind.
I was in the same queue, mate. I must have been behind you.
So that was, when I even did my audition, I said, look, there's always, and they were like, look, what's your worst, they asked me in the audition, they said, what's your worst fear, Param? And I said, look, you know, you got to prepare for the worst, expect the best, but prepare for the worst.
Right.
The worst case scenario is you go down and you get no lighty all the way.
Yeah.
You know, that's the worst case scenario. And so long as I was like, you know, I was mentally prepared for that.
Yeah.
Because some of the Koreans, to be fair, they've probably never seen a Sikh before. They're from places like, you know, Liverpool, Blackpool. ਉੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੋਕ ਤਾਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ.
Yeah, that's right.
ਉੱਥੇ ਦੇ brown ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ
Yeah, it doesn't.
brown
I'll tell you, some
Yeah.
of them are from places where, you know, like I said, Bournemouth and stuff like that. I wonder how many Sikhs live in Bournemouth. Not
Exactly,
a lot.
probably not a lot.
Yeah, but as
So-
opposed to South or Birmingham.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
so
that
yeah,
was-
you're right. And some of that, and well, we'll go on to that as well later. When about one was evident from the comment that she made that
Yeah.
she didn't know what a Sikh was.
Yeah,
we
sure,
will
sure.
talk about it. We're not here to ham him up. But I'm here to get the truth out of Param. And we're going to
Sure,
talk the
sure,
truth.
sure.
But yeah, so when there were 10 lights on,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, you must have thought like I did. Cool, he's done all right. He hasn't done
To
too
be honest,
badly.
yeah, 1/3 of the Korean keeping their light on,
Yeah.
or you know something. You know, the guy that was on first, Ben. To be honest, he's pretty by any standards.
Mate, he was
he's hot.
I thought, yeah.
He's hot,
I thought
basically.
emphatically like, and he was
Yeah.
like, "ਸਾਡੇ ਪਾਰਮ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਰਹਿਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ." That's what I thought ਛੱਡ ਦੇ ਗੋਰੇ ਦੋ ਤਿੰਨ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ।
Yeah, I just put my white flag out. Tell yeah. You know, so when the Korean obviously saw him come out as first, and then I remember coming out the lift and seeing some of the girls. Some of the girls were a little bit shocked, you know.
Yeah.
So obviously they've cut it really well, but some of the Korean were,
Yeah.
let's be honest, a little bit shocked.
So you didn't meet the girls beforehand, before you went on the
No.
ride?
So we never meet the girls. It's a shock for me to see them. It's a shock
Yeah.
for them to see me.
That's right.
And to
It's
have,
daunting standing there in front of 30 girls.
Well,
trying to
yeah,
chat-
it's very
trying to chat them up.
Yeah, it's very scary, and you know, it's all, you know, the girls are making their lines on the, you know, on the cuff. I'm coming up with things on the cuff. You know, obviously I've thought of some lines, but you can't prepare for all eventualities. And yeah, to have like 1/3 of the lights left on is brilliant. You know.
He was right. He was thinking,
Yeah.
"Shad gal bani jave."
Yeah, it was looking good. It was looking good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then that comment was made about the turban, yeah, about the turban and about using it as a storage.
Sure.
And that your reply to that, of you obviously made that. That's what seems to upset a lot of people.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, let's keep in mind that some of the girls maybe have never seen a Sikh before.
Right.
I've not told people my religion, so I've not sort of made an announcement that I'm a Sikh or I follow my.
And you never went. You never tweeted about anything saying I'm a Sikh. I'm going to be representing the Sikh.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
you know, I'm a Tari Sikh. I'm going to be representing
Sure.
this and all that.
Yeah, sure.
You just went on as Param, right?
I've gone over as bottom. You know, my dance was bottom style, so
Yeah,
it's all
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So you know, I'm not claiming to represent like Indians or Punjabis
yeah.
or religion or anything like
When
that.
she said that comment, what went through
To
your
be
head?
honest-
Or did you have enough time to react, or what was that?
Yeah, it was interesting because you basically get about, you know, you've got about 20 cameras
Yeah.
looking at you, 400 audience at the back. Paddy McGuinness, I'm just looking at Paddy, she said that, and I'm looking at Paddy McGuinness.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling sorry for Paddy because all show hai, meri show thodi hai.
That's right, yeah.
And he's feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So he's running around.
Yeah.
And he jumps into the audience
Yeah.
to hide his head because he's a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
Some of the Korean are like, oh God, ki
Yeah.
kya Korean hai.
So some people have clocked on,
So
you must have clocked on at that stage. That hold on, she said.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
And
it's
how
a
do
little
I
bit
handle it?
Yeah, it's a bit inappropriate. So, but I get about 3 seconds to kind of think in my head, what am I going to say? Jo pehla mere dimag vich aaya, main keh chhadiya.
Yeah.
So, you know, I said just something about, you know, I've got loads of space over there. I was like, you know, at that point in time, you've got 2 choices. You've got either you can appear as a sort of a compassionate, loving person that is okay, understands, has, you know, it's clear.
Yeah, yeah.
It's clear in the audience. It's inappropriate.
It's tolerant.
Yeah, I can be either shown to be tolerant or I can show to be intolerant.
Or you could have gone on a flex and, you know, you could
Yeah.
have effed them blind, right?
Exactly.
You could have said something rude to her. Said something to upset her.
Exactly. So with those choices in
Did it
mind,
go through your head?
everything goes through my head. To be honest, I'm a very kind, loving person, so I would never
Abuse a lady?
I would know not to. It's not really in my nature to be nasty to someone or to say bad things to someone. I don't have a nasty
That's
bone
just the
in my
way you
body.
are.
That's just the way God's made me. God's made me like that. So those kinds of thoughts wouldn't have gone into my head. the only thing I was thinking was, what could I say that could be witty enough and that could just maybe just calm the situation down a bit.
Yeah.
But I just said whatever came to my head basically, and had a kind of a laugh and just kind of went with the flow. That was the only thing I could do.
Do you regret saying it? After reading some comments on some websites and your tweet, you got attacked personally. Do you regret now saying that, or do you think I should have just stayed quiet at all, or I should have said something else? Or if you'd had more time, would you have said something else?
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, we can sort of analyse things and say, actually I could have maybe approached it this way or that way, and I could have maybe said something else that could have been maybe as funny and maybe taken the attention away from the turban, like maybe said something like, I don't know, I've got really big, you're really lucky because I've got really big pockets, so I can keep the phone in my pocket instead of, and then take the attention maybe away from the turban, or just say something else.
You could have said, this is my crown, I'm a king, because that's in Sikhism.
This
is our crown.
Like,
this is our crown. Well, this is we're from a royal family. It's not for me to say. I wasn't there in front of 20 cameras. We've got two cameras here. There's no live audience. You're my audience. But I suppose at the time, 3 seconds.
It's just too less time to
First time on TV?
Yeah, first time on that scale, for sure, and so, it's just, in hindsight, we can obviously, but I think the main thing was that I came across as the good person, as a nice person on TV, regardless of the comment, because I've not made the nasty comment.
That's right, yeah.
So it's not me that I'm looking at. I don't have to look at myself. I can look at myself in the mirror and say, actually, I'm happy with
what I am.
What I am. Yeah. I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. And actually, the girl Facebooked me afterwards, and she said, look, but I'm really sorry if I made a bad, I don't know if what I said was bad or not, but if it was,
I'm sure some of the extremists must have attacked her as well.
Yeah, unfortunately they did. Yeah, right. She got some bad comments, and which is really bad. But I told her, I forewarned her about that as well. I said, look, if you do get any bad comments, please I'd like to give you an apology from myself, because they don't represent who I am.
That's right.
And they may have just taken something.
Well, our religion teaches us not to abuse people anyway, and we respect women as opposed to abusing them.
And forgiveness is generally equality.
It's one of the foundations of
exactly, and even all religions, forgiveness and love and tolerance seem to be big things, in Sikhi. So.
But as a result, she's probably learnt something about Sikhi, and she's probably gone to take time out now to learn about Sikhs.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Right, so that happens, and that comment's made, and you make your comment. Then after that, you've still got the 10 lights on. Then what's this bit they give you where you can do your bit? Because the guy before you was surfing or something, skateboarding or something.
Oh, right, sure,
So you were skateboarding. So they must have said, right now you can do your item number as it is.
My item, So actually, my item was originally going to be a video, a second video, because I don't really have a talent. I can't sing, I can't really dance, and
Tu Punjabi hai?
Yeah,
Tu Bhangra to play
all the boys are like, yeah.
That's what you should have done.
Yeah, I should have done that. I was.
I would have preferred it if you'd had a Punjabi MC track on Mundial or Jazz Climax's Heat or something. You come out to that and you've got a dance.
That's true. Yeah, I could have done that, and I might have had maybe a few lighties on if I'd maybe done some Bhangra. Maybe Punjabi MC. That always goes down well.
Always.
But there was the other side, which was that, there's because there's so few Asians on TV, let alone Bengali, there's so few Asians. And I
don't know any Bengali on TV, apart from on our own channels.
Yeah, right? So that's right.
On our religious channels, obviously, and on the Asian channels, you get Bengali. But it's hard.
And in Bollywood.
And in Bollywood. But it's hard, for on TV, on regular TV.
In regular TV, there's very few, exactly. And the last thing I wanted to do was, and this was another thing, so, I did have the decision of, I could have done Bhangra, but then there may not be another Bhangra for a while on TV. So if I do something to Bhangra, then people might think, all Indians, all they listen to, that's their music.
Stereotype.
Yeah, stereotype. Yeah. And so we're in danger of creating a stereotype around just Asian people. Whereas, I don't really actually, at home, I love Bhangra, love it, dancing, love it, but I don't actually listen to much Bhangra at home. I prefer listening to Western sort of chart music or Kirtan or Part. So that was, and the sort of Take Me Out crew said, look, Gangnam's quite big at the moment. What do you reckon to Param style? I was like, chal laga de fir Param style kara lenni hai. And that was it, basically,
Param style, we're going to talk to you after the break. We're going to go for a little break first, and I'm going to talk to you about the dancing, about your personal views on Sikhi, about you, Param, the individual. So we'll show the public, apart from the 5 seconds that they saw, the 15 seconds that they saw on TV, what else you do. And we're going to talk about your quest to find a kudi. Don't worry, मैं arrangement कीता है थोड़ा यार, मैं तेनू कोई
तू मेरा कुछ करा दे
तेनू ऐतवार तो पहला ब्याह लईए तू गल दस मैं कार्ड होनी कार्ड वही सवाल हाँ जी कार्ड चाहिए जी 200 what I'll do, we're going to ship some cards and I'm going to beat you after the break. सारे ने कोई जियानु सत श्री अकाल once again. I've got the infamous now, I will say, Param Singh from Take Me Out on the show with me, talking about his experience. ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ show ਤੇ ਆਏ ਸੀ. Param, when we all saw it, ਜੋ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਡਾਂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਦੀ ਬੱਤੀਆਂ ਬੁਝ ਗਈਆਂ.
Oh yeah.
So ਲਾਈਟਾਂ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਬੰਦ.
ਮੇਰੀ ਤੇ ਹੋ ਗਈ no lighting.
ਹਾਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਈ no light. How did you feel then? You must have thought ਚਲੋ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ. That's what I tweeted. I must admit, I tweeted, चलो ये Param Singh हो गया तेरा काम. I tweeted that, it got retweeted about 50 times.
ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਡਾਂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਡਾਂਸ ਅਜੇ ਖਤਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ.
ਤੇਰੇ ਡਾਂਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਲਾਈਟਾਂ ਬੁਝ ਗਈਆਂ.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਲਾਈਟਾਂ ਬੁਝ ਗਈਆਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਊਂਡ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਟੁੱਟ ਗਿਆ ਆ. ਮੇਰੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ 'ਚ ਆਇਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਚ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਉੱਪਰ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਲਾਲ ਲਾਈਟਾਂ ਬਲੈਕ ਆਊਟ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਲੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਆਪਾ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡਾਂਸ ਤਾਂ ਕਮ ਸੇ ਕਮ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨ ਦਿੰਦੇ.
ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਡਾਂਸ ਤਾਂ ਪਸੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ.
ਮੇਰੀ ਨੋ ਲਾਈਟ ਹੀ ਕਰਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ.
But were you sort of expecting that, or were you ready for the eventuality of that?
Yeah, I mean, I was happy either way. Like for me, going on. The thing is, if I'd have to go to Fernando's, ਮੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਵਿਮਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਰਨੈਂਡੋਜ਼ ਜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਡੁੱਬ ਜਾਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ.
ਸਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਤੈਨੂੰ
ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਉਹ ਪਾ ਲੈਣੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਫਲੋਟ ਜੇ.
ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਟੂਬ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਡਾਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੀ ਬੋਟਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਉਹ ਜਾਂ 2 ਬੰਦੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਨਾਲੇ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਫਰਨੈਂਡੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਾਹਦੇ.
So I was happy because for me it's not just about the light or the no light, it's the whole experience, and Paddy McGuinness ਇੰਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਆ and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੋ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ experience ਕਰੋ. It's that whole sort of experience and that thing that adds something to your life, a unique aspect that you do, unique experience to your life that enhances your life and your sort of general fun.
One thing you did do was you managed to raise a issue on the BBC Asian Network from your appearance.
Oh right, yeah.
About how hard it is for people with turbans to date girls or to go girls. Now there's a lot of element of people going to say, well, actually real Ahmed 36 shouldn't be dating girls, and that's a different line altogether. We could have a debate on that all day. But for the people with turbans who do want to date girls, do you find it a barrier to meet girls and cast or to even apniya girls? Do they, a lot of them, we all know, I know girls, and I'm sure you know girls as well, who have said, we don't want to marry someone who wears a pug or has a beard or is Amritari. Do you think that there is a barrier there?
I think it's a really interesting question. Personally, from my life, I've had, I can remember from my uni days, I was generally quite a popular person. Throughout life, I've been a relatively popular person. I know I've probably, on like Shadi.com, I've probably been rejected because I will have a turban or a beard, but I think I see that as being just a personal preference.
Let me ask you a question, yeah? It's very personal, yeah?
Go on.
Did you get any dates through Shadi.com? And did you actually go out with people?
I probably have been on some dates. Yeah, probably have.
So you did get some response?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think it's just I see it, and my dad sees it as well. Like. There's a comment made by a girl on Take Me Out, that she made something about the beard, like, I don't really go for guys with beards because I get a rash. And I think, and I was like, that's a fair comment because not all girls are going to go for a guy with a beard.
Yeah, that's right.
And, I choose to have a beard and I choose to reduce the number of girls that might go for me because I have a beard. But that's a conscious choice that I make and I'm happy with that choice. And I think girls are free to, there's a sort of stereotypical sort of Hollywood, Bollywood, male sort of Brad Pitt look that is, clean shaven. And I think media does play an important role in sort of defining what is good looking and what isn't.
Yeah.
But I think personality is also important. I think girls like, sense of humor, they like people with personality, and I think all those things are also important. So, you know, I've always I've never felt that my turban or my beard is something that hinders me. I've always found it gives me sort of like a boost. But I know some guys who do find it difficult to get dates or, you know, or get maybe a lot of rejections because of their appearance. But I think you got to be confident in, if you do wear a turban and have a beard, you need to be confident in and happy that, you know, you have it because you've chosen to have it, not because...
Also,
yeah,
you need to be extra confident, I think, because you know at some stage, whether in a workplace or, you know, even in normal day life, you are going to come across extra obstacles, maybe as a result.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this country as much, but other countries, say in India or,
Sure.
you know, any other way across, in America, where
Sure.
not a lot of people even know what Sikhs are. You know,
For sure,
and
yeah,
they get
yeah.
confused with Muslims and
Yeah,
extremists
sure.
and terrorists.
For sure, yeah.
And
yeah.
so I think, well, every time I see a person with a turban and a beard, I automatically respect them. That, for me, gains some level of respect. What else gets another bit of respect is what comes out of their mouth, but
Sure, yeah.
and the way they act. But the level of respect is already, they've got a good foundation because they're willing to do something for their religion, which I haven't. Yeah? I'm not willing to obey what my Guru Sahib tells me, but they are to some extent, and therefore they automatically get that. And kudos to them because they're going to face extra difficulty in life. We've seen it before, and even as I used to remember, we used to have people who had guttis growing up at our school in Essex. It wasn't a lot; there was the odd one or two. Yeah, and I grew up in a school full of gurri, and they would take the mickey out of them constantly. And you know, it starts from a young age, but their conviction was strong, and you know they kept with it, and they were the best people I knew and still know.
Yeah.
So yeah, extra respect to people who do that. The other thing I want to ask, and a lot of people want to ask, are you an Amritdhari Sikh?
I am, yeah. I've been Amritdhari for a few years, like since the age of like, you know, some mid-20s probably.
Was it a conscious choice, or was you forced into it? Or?
Yeah, no, I'd said to God, you know, that if you do certain things in my life, and I had like various milestones that I said, look, if you do all these, if you fulfill all these milestones, then I'll take Amrit. Then
yeah, I've done a deal like that.
Yeah.
It involves winning a lottery and all that, still waiting. No, I haven't really. But the fact is that, okay, so you took...
So I struck a kind of a deal with God, and before I knew it, the milestone had been reached, and I was like, oh my God. And then I was running around looking for a place that did Amrit, so that's kind of how it happened. I mean, that was my experience. I mean, you know, I don't feel like I've changed as a person, you know, regardless of whether I've taken Amrit or not, I think. But
before, did you used to drink and stuff like that? And
yeah, so I stopped...
did that change? I mean, how does that... Because for me, that's one of the greatest fears. I always think, oh no, man, I'm going to have to stop drinking and eating meat. That's about 60% of my life.
Yeah,
So, and I always... And for a lot of people, it's the same. I mean, but did it change you for the better? I mean, or was it at first, was there a jolt or to your system?
Yeah, to be honest, I stopped. I wasn't really a drinker. I never really liked the taste of alcohol, so it wasn't really. Alcohol's never really been a big thing in my life.
Right.
I used to. I wasn't always vegetarian.
Right. Okay.
So going to becoming a vegetarian was probably the hardest thing for me.
Right.
But then also, like, you know, for me, the spiritual practice, you know, I don't do the full Baniya, you know, I don't do all the Baniya, I do like a Japji Sahib in the morning.
Right.
That's enough, I feel, for me. But, you know, you have certain things, I guess, that are recommended to you that are good things, and you just do, I think, what you can do. But for me, I see a Sikh as someone who is, you know, pure in the heart, you know, and...
That's what Khalas means, I think.
Yeah,
pure,
Khalas, and for me, you are Khalas, you know, you're just...
not, mate, you don't know
Pure
that much about me. You just seen 5 minutes on TV. Trust me.
जिन्नी तू सेवा करदा ना बड़े घट सिखने जिन्नी तू सेवा करदा
Seva is part of what I feel I can do to make up for my lack of other things. And the other thing is, talking about Seva and about Sikhi. Now, a lot of people are quick to judge. They've seen you on TV for 5 minutes. I'll read it out. They call you a clown. They call you a joker. They said you've done a biz, the of the gom. And they don't really know you. Let's talk about what you do for Sikhism and what sort of projects you've been involved in.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we talk about you?
Sure.
We had a couple of guests on here, 2 non-Asian Sikhs,
right,
Amritpal and Harsangat Kaur,
Yeah, sure.
who had come from America, and they're Sikhs, and they were talking about this. But you've had some interaction with them, right?
Yeah, sure. So we've been going to the American Sikhs. They run a retreat every year called Summer Solstice Sadhana Celebration.
Right.
And we've been going there regularly for the last sort of 5-6 years to represent the British Sikh community in America. We met, I remember meeting her Sangat going back 5 years now.
Okay.
And that was her first time. She didn't know what Sikh was. She didn't know what Sikhism was.
Yeah.
She was a yoga student and she just got into yoga.
Right.
And it's this Kundalini yoga that they practice.
Okay.
And she'd come to the festival and she'd met us, and we got on really well, and she came to the UK and we did, she stayed with us for a little while. And just from us, we don't preach to people. We're not.
You don't go out there and physically convert people.
Yeah,
or
we're
anything
not
like
into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we're just people who practice Sikhism, like we have a spiritual practice, and we're just from our being. She learned a little bit about Sikhism and developed an interest in Sikhism. And 5 years down the line, I think she's
become a Sikh.
Yeah, she's become a Sikh. Yeah, and her dad is a Sufi Muslim, and her mother is.
She was telling us her dad was a Muslim. So for someone whose dad is a Sufi Muslim, for his daughter to become a Sikh, it's a big thing. It's a big step.
For us to be able to have interactions and we're in a very privileged position. A lot of people in America know us. We have a lot of respect, me and my two brothers, and we've developed that. Obviously, these things take time. Interfaith relationships, inter-community relationships, intergenerational relationships. But hopefully, we can use these to our advantage and benefit the whole community as a whole. So when last year we had Param Singh and Param Kaur, who are also from America, come to the UK, and they were staying here for a couple of days, and they stayed with us, with me and my brothers.
Right.
And we hosted them at the Accenture offices in London.
Okay.
And we managed to get a Q&A with them.
Right.
And it was fantastic. So we had about 50, 60 city professionals from the City Sikhs network. Yeah. And they got to see a perspective from uncles and aunties, uncle and auntie from the American Sikh community who've been practicing yoga and Sikhism for the last, 40 years. And they got some really interesting, loving advice, and they were just fantastic on the panel.
It's great to see Sikhism not just spreading in Punjab or in the UK, but spreading in areas where you'd never expect it.
Exactly.
So like in New Mexico, where you're saying, right?
Yeah, sure.
Also, our friend Ravi Singh from Khalsa Aid does brilliant stuff in Haiti and places where there's disasters. Goes out there and spends a lot of money which he gets from funds from his charity, and helps to educate children, give them a better quality of life. And they then question him, what is a Sikh and what is Sikhism all about? Yeah. The other day he showed me a video where Sikhs were, at least little kids from Haiti, they were questioning him and saying, well, they're asking us, what is a Sikh? These Sikhs sounds like if you're a Sikh, then Sikhs must be brilliant individual beings.
Yeah,
and it's just about spreading the message. Perhaps like in the old days where Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to go on travels and spread the message. And I suppose that thing is also important in a part of Sikhism, as opposed to just also being hardcore and hardline and doing your normal stuff. Yeah. But, to spread Sikh internationally, you have to reach the places where I suppose other religions don't.
Sure, exactly.
So how does that feel interacting with non-Asian Sikhs?
It's fantastic, So, I regularly go to Europe and to America, and I get to meet German Sikhs, South American Sikhs, Sikhs from Brazil, Argentina, all the sort of South American countries have Sikh communities now. Europe.
You wouldn't think that. If I told someone in Brazil which we Sikh रहंदे ने कदे यार कान झूठ बोली जाना.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ culture, especially in South America, it's very similar to the Punjabi culture. ਉਹਨਾਂ they have like tortillas and we have roti. And ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਲਾਪੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ.
ਮਿਲਣਸਾਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ.
Yeah, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਬੜੇ ਗਰਮ ਮਤਲਬ ਬੜੇ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ. But ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਨੇ. And I think we have a lot of cultural similarities. But then you've got Sikhs, sort of European Sikhs. You've got like German Sikhs who are very strict when it comes to their ayat.
Really?
As you can imagine, in German, like engineering is like the best in the world.
So they want to be the best in Sikhi.
Yeah. So when they do like
disciplined
their part, it's the
people.
best. Yeah, they're very disciplined people. And then, so you meet these different cultures of Sikhs, and they have practiced Sikhism in their own way. And it's you know, I'm very privileged to meet Sikhs and work at an international level and have exposure to these different types of Sikhs. And
some would say that what these organisations are doing are diluting Sikhi, and they're like getting Sikhi maybe into what not it should be, and distorting Sikhi.
Sure.
And there's been accusations flying around left, right, or centre, or perhaps some organisations that they try to distort Sikhism with Hinduism, and some being funded by Hindu forest extremists or something like that. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's always going to be people that create stories because it benefits themselves. They might not have too much going for them in their own lives.
Right.
And these are sort of anonymous people, you know, we don't...
They don't have a face, they don't have a name.
No. Yeah, exactly. So
that's what internet is good for.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? So you can be behind a laptop and create all kinds of stories.
I can pretend to be an 18-year-old woman, mate, with the best legs in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Little do they know.
And I'm an alien from Mars.
Little do they know, it take about 4 days just to shave mine, but... so, I mean, but that sort of, surely does that get to you? Does that upset you?
Not really, no, because... You know,
because there's no truth in it, or because do you think that, hold on, what they're saying is just not right, or your vision of Sikhi is different to someone else's vision of Sikhi?
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing, because, you know, I think every Sikh I've met, and I've said, you know, what do you feel a Sikh is? And some people say, actually, I feel a Sikh is someone that does a lot of seva.
Yeah.
And I've met some other people that say, you know, well, I think a Sikh is someone that... loves unconditionally, and someone says, well, I feel a Sikh is someone that wears 5Ks. And so there's so many different, I like the idea that we're open to philosophical interpretation about our philosophy, and that, you know, something that might resonate with one Sikh might not, you know, and brings them closer to Guru Nanak's philosophy, and someone else, a Sikh might be maybe closer to something else, maybe Dasam Bani, you know, Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Banis, and, you know, may become a Nihang Singh and may follow, and, you know, may go down that way. So I quite like the idea that we're a community that is open to philosophical interpretation, and we're open to different cultures and communities coming in, having their own slant on Sikhi. I think it's great.
Also in Sikhi, there's sort of people tend to lean towards certain types of Sikhi. So some people will learn to lean towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji's meaning of Sikhi. Some people would lean towards Guru Gobind Singh Ji's way of Sikhi. Some people lean towards the Dasam Granth's way of Sikhi.
Sure.
So it's I suppose, once again, it's down to interpretation, right?
Yeah, down to interpretation.
I mean, we're not saying any one Sikhi is wrong or any one Sikhi is right.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, Sikhi is to you what you interpret it to be and want it to take it to be.
Exactly.
And everyone else's interpretation is different.
Yeah.
You know, no two Sikhs will be identical.
Exactly.
From what I understand, just the same as no two human beings are.
Exactly. Absolutely.
A lot of people said, right, you just went on this show to get your 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you know, you compromised your morals, you compromised everything. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I'd say to that is, you know, I've come on the show. I've just said, all I've said is my name's Param and I'm from London. Yeah. And, you know, so I've got 1/3 lights on. Then the next stage is my VT that ITV created. The beautiful, you know, a videotape of me, you know, doing Tai Chi, you know, in various hills. I've shown my business side. We've shown my family we're playing games. We're having.
They had a couple of your relatives on there, I think, didn't they?
Sorry?
They had a couple of your relatives.
Yeah. So and then so they've shown a really nice aspect of me just being a normal human being. Yeah. You know, I've not said I'm a Sikh, or, you know, or my.
You haven't mentioned that at all.
I've not mentioned that at all, or I'm Punjabi or an Indian or anything. So they're just, you know, people are just seeing an Asian, your average mainstream Gora on TV, seeing a normal brown person that's probably reasonably successful. He's educated, he's well-spoken. All right, he's got a turban and he's got a beard. He seems to come from a nice family. He's got nice friends. And he's smiling and he's having a joke. So I think that that's probably quite a good image of, as far as your mainstream people are concerned, that's probably quite a good image. And it's probably supported by the fact that actually just on the way here, I've been noticed by just a group of lads. Right. Probably they're school-age lads. Yeah. And one of them said, "Oi, you, take me out." And then all these Mondays, we'd never, we'd never talk otherwise. I thought they'd be
you'd never meet them.
Yeah, we'd never meet them. And they've just come along, and are you really the same guy? I was like, yeah. They all come together, we take a picture, and then I'm off. Yeah. And so my picture's probably flying around on Facebook with random kids. And same thing happened on Friday, just random people of all ethnic backgrounds, Eastern European to Caribbean to English to Asian, being like shaking my hand, high-fiving.
Feels good?
It feels great, it really does, I've never had, Londoners are definitely very friendly people, but we never had the, and now people have got the perfect, like,
now you know how I feel at a kabaddi tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like,
I don't even make it into the ground.
Oh, God.
So look, we're going to go to a break, and afterwards, for my ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ. After the break, right? So ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ ਜਾ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਵੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੈਨ ਪੇਪਰ ਨੋਟ ਕਰੋ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਵੀ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਵਿਆਹਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਾਂਗੇ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਟੇਰੀਆ ਕੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਦ ਸ਼ੋ। ਪਰਮ, ਤੇਰੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ, ਐਂਡ ਫੇਸਬੁੱਕ ਤੇ
ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ
ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਤੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ।
ਅਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਯਾਰ।
ਸੋ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵਹੁਟੀ ਲੱਭਦੇ ਨੂੰ?
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ 5 ਸਾਲ 6 ਸਾਲ।
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ 5 ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀ। ਤਾਂ I started looking in 2000 and I started looking in 2000, actually I don't even know. I started looking in 1998 and I got married in 2003. So yeah, but like I said, I was 28 when I got married. So but right, why did you go on a show where there were Goriyan and Afrikana and all that?
Yeah.
ਤੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਸੰਦ?
ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਰ, ਆਪਣੀ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ I was quite sure ਕਿ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਤੇ, ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ no loyalty ਤਾਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ. I was pretty sure about that. So for me, I was thinking more strategically in that ਉਹ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਆਂਟੀਆਂ ਕੋਈ ਆਂਟੀਆਂ ਕੋ ਦੇਖਦੀਆਂ ਪਈਆਂ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ, ਕੋਈ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਦੇਖਦੀਆਂ ਪਈਆਂ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ, they're going to see my life, in a really nice VT. They're going to see me doing Gangnam, maybe. but yeah,
I'm saving my comments for the end. Just before the end of the show.
But VT ਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੀ ਨਾ, VT ਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੀ।
ਵਧੀਆ ਬਣਾਈ, ਕਈ ਹਜ਼ਾਰ ਪਾਉਂਡ ਖਰਚੇ ਐਕਟਿਵ ਨੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਤੇ।
Yeah, I could never get that kind of exposure. ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਂ ਕੱਢ ਲਵਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਅਖਬਾਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ shadi.com ਤੇ ਮੈਂ Spotlight ਦਾ ਖਰੀਦ ਲਵਾਂ, but that exposure I could never get any other way. My hope is that there's some girls that think, actually, you know what, he seems like a nice guy.
To be honest, a lot of people defended you on your Twitter.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people defended you.
I did,
and I'll tell you what the biggest, for me, what was one of the greatest things of the night. There's this one Punjabi singer. He started tweeting very anti about you when you came on. Right? And we won't mention any names because we're not allowed to, right? But yeah. There's this one Punjabi singer, he started off saying, this guy's disrespected and blah, 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 right? In the end, everyone switched on him and said, well, hold on, you haven't done much either.
Yeah.
And at the end, he had to start blocking people. And then, the irony of it was, at the end, he said, why do Sardars always attack Sardars? And then someone said to him, hold on, you started this because you attacked Param in the first place.
God,
so, I mean, when you see, like, people like that, you must have thought, hold on, what have I done to upset you?
It's interesting that the debate got so big that a famous
Punjabi
singer had to
who
get
had
involved.
Nearly 15,000 followers on Twitter.
That he felt he needed to get involved. So I guess it's an interesting, it shows that it's a very topical
It shows
debate.
people are watching, whether they liked it or not.
For sure,
they were watching you.
Definitely.
I'll be honest, that was the first time I ever watched Take Me Out.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and but I watched it because specifically someone said, look, there's a singer who's going to go Take Me Out. And I said, what is this show? And I thought, Chal dekh lenne. And then you came on and I watched it and I thought, this is good. And then we have to say hello to Kelly Shocker because she's the one who posted on Facebook that Harjap, you need to get Param on TV.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
That's when I twittered you and said, Param, I've got to get you on TV and I want you to answer your critics and tell us a bit about yourself.
Brilliant.
And, let's talk about the positives and the negatives.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, there was a lot. You must have felt, if you felt bad about the negative bits, you must have felt good about the positive bits as well, where a lot of people said, Shabash, well done. You had guts to go out there knowing you're going to get, battered on Twitter and everything.
Sure. I mean, it was so interesting, Harjap. On my Facebook, there was a there was World War III going on, as you can imagine, on my Facebook.
Yeah. It was going on other religious websites and Twitter.
Yeah,
There's a Twitter war.
World War IV probably on the websites. Yeah.
We're good at wars.
But it was so interesting because there was people who don't know me. There's my friends who know me, and some of them who were not Sikh were quoting Gurbani to some of the Sikh people who were being overly touchy about. And I thought that was very interesting, that we're living in a time where some of my philosopher friends can come along and have my back and use Gurbani to talk about, actually, they're saying it from their perspective. Actually, as Gore, we're seeing a guy that's actually appearing really positive on TV, regardless of what you may be thinking or perceiving, in your own communities. As far as we as Gore are concerned, it's actually coming across really positive. And I thought that was really impressive, that how different people are coming together and to, provide each other's opinions. And I'm not a person that says, we have to all follow one line of thinking. I'm not here to say to the Amritaris, you guys need to start going on these shows. I'm not saying anything like that. I think we do definitely need, though, more Sardars on TV in general. I think there just isn't enough. And I think maybe it was such a big thing in our community. Because there isn't enough Sardars.
That's right,
And so maybe they're expecting, they've got certain expectations.
The level of expectancy was just
sky high. It was high,
And before the show, I was looking at your Twitter and I was, looking at the comments where people were making. They automatically turned you into this. You were becoming this hero. The singer's going to come on. He's going to smash it, man. He's going to, he's going to do this. There were a lot of people saying, he's going to get a black hat.
Yes.
They were right in the end.
But
the level of it's almost as if they've turned you into a hero, and then that's it. They've then cut you down. But then you've also had an element of people where they backed you up. And they said they understood the light-hearted nature of the show. And I think a lot of people understood that. It's a hard situation to be in. And for someone who's never been on TV before and never used to it, that is hard.
It's definitely hard,
I do TV, I've been doing it for 7 odd years, right? And this is what I do, live shows, people call up and I answer them live. Hence I've developed that sense of coming back at people and it's just it's just second nature. Well, someone who's, I have big singers sit here where you are, right? People who are supposed to be used to the media, and even they get nervous when they come on here. They think, come on, come on. And and that's the way it is. So, and you had 3 seconds to answer. In hindsight, perhaps a lot of things could have been different.
It could have been,
But it was what it was, and you did what you did. In the end of the day. Now, ਹੁਣ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੁੜੀ ਪੰਜਾਬਣ ਚੱਲੂ
ਬਹੁਤ ਬੜੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਚੱਲੂ ਯਾਰ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਾ ਦੇ
ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੱਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਲੱਭ ਕੇ ਦਿੰਨਾ ਨਾਲੇ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਐਕਸਪਰਟ ਇਨ ਰੋਟੀ ਪਲੱਸ ਵਧੀਆ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਦਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੁੱਕ ਆਫਟਰ
ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੋਟਾ ਕਰਾ ਦੇ
2-3 ਬੱਚੇ ਕੱਢੂਗੀ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਤੇਰਾ ਘਰ ਵਸਾਊਗੀ what it is, it's people said, oh no, that ਇਹਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ after that ਕੁੜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਭਣੀ ਜਾਂ ਐਦਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਆ that's not true, mate. If I put my number out now and say ਮੈਂ ਪਰਮ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਨਾ, mate, all these girls on student visas, it won't stop ringing. It won't stop ringing. But I suppose nowadays, and I've done a show on this before, it has become a problem finding a life partner. I mean, our date conversation, ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ blackout ਤੇ ਜਾਇਆ ਆਪਣਾ take me out ਤੇ ਜਾਇਆ. Our conversation, our date is literally, in our time, we're seeing a girl for the first time, and then you talk with her for 5 minutes, and your dad's standing and saying, "Kiddha, kudi pasand aayi ki nahi?" When he does, you have about 2 minutes to make a decision. I mean, literally, it's got a lot better now. Dating nowadays, you can go out with girls, and you can go out and go where you get a little privacy. In our days, I suppose we never had that, and it was hard enough then. But I suppose the system's changing.
I've got a lot of respect for that. The generation where. You guys you didn't have much time, and you guys just got on with, getting married, and, you guys made it, you just made it work, and, knowing so little. And I think these days...
we didn't have the easy option either in that day.
It's a very difficult...
If you mentioned the word divorce in your house, you'd probably look like to get a beating off your dad.
I can imagine.
And so it wasn't that easy. It's not as easy as it is now. ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ 3 ਹਫ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੁੜੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਡਿਵੋਰਸ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਮੁੰਡੇ 3 ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ we don't want to you hear about stories where they go, but I suppose it is hard, and I suppose that's what drove you to go on the show, right? Your quest to find a woman.
For sure, the quest for love has taken me to the TV, so I mean ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਮ ਸੇ ਕਮ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ 10 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਿਓ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਤੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਤੇ ਕਦੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿਓ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਆਇਆ ਆ
ਮੈਂ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਕੁੜੀ ਨੇ ਪਸੰਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ do you think it's because boys and girls are being too picky nowadays?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of the problem. I think my list when I was a lot younger, when I started looking, was ਐਡੀ ਲੰਬੀ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਲਿਸਟ ਸੀਗੀ ਆਪਣੀ vegetarian ਹੋਏ ਇਹ ਹੋਏ ਉਹ ਫਲਾਨਾ ਹੋਏ so I think as we get older our list gets smaller and smaller and smaller because we think actually we begin to realize actually it's not about for me personally I'm not necessarily looking at lots of little things. It's more about the person and can we have a life together and I think it's over time I think you get to become more wise and you get to realize actually our lists are just lists and really that shouldn't be how you look for a life partner. But it takes you time to get
you learn, I suppose.
Yeah, you learn.
It took me five years of hunting, like I said, to find a couple of broken engagements on the way, and but we got there in the end, and we're happy, and so I can understand now. It must get even more harder.
Yeah, sure. But I guess the positive side is that there's lots of opportunities to meet people, and in less pressurized environments.
Yeah, mate. Totally.
And you get to most people get to go on a few dates at least. You get
Mate, listen, it's a lot better than you sitting with your prospective bride in one room and Galabo Masi sitting there going, cookie, panche ment ho gaye hon tusi bahut gallan kar liyan chal kar lo chaliye so
we've got it.
Trust me, if you've been through it you know what it is.
For sure,
it should be getting easier.
It should be, I guess it swings and roundabouts. So people maybe have got pickier, but it's easier to date, but people got pickier. So maybe I don't know. It's also I've noticed that people living in London seem to be single for longer, whereas my other mates
in the Midlands and all that they seem to
they just settle down much quicker.
Most of my friends in the Midlands, they were married a lot before I was, and it was the London boys who were struggling to find girls. A couple of my mates still ain't married,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're 35, 36 now. And so they're still looking to get married. But I think, and they're both from London, so I think the London boys are having a bit of a trouble.
Yeah, I think also maybe with the whole work-life balance, I think we're working long hours in London. We're traveling a lot. We have less time possibly to actually spend, meet new people, meet potential partners and stuff, and it just takes time to take out time out your diary. We've got such busy social lives as well, so I think Londoners, maybe we're just so busy we just need to learn to reprioritize and just minimize a few things. So
Param, it's been good having you on the show.
Thanks.
And it's been great. Listen, it's good to know a real person, the person what they're like, before we all start slating someone. And what I really wanted to do here was to give you an opportunity to talk about your side of things, which I think you've done, and which is fair and balanced, I did tell you I wasn't going to go easy on you, but I hope I haven't been too hard.
No, it's really thanks. It's been
and
awesome.
If you did offend any people, then I, on your behalf, ask for maafi for you. But, and, sare to galtiyan honi, but I don't, personally,
to be honest,
you've explained yourself well.
I'm a humble man, if people have felt offended, I'm humble enough to apologize to people. You're just such a beautiful guy that you would even do that on my behalf.
Beauty scared mate. First forget Rajwinder before Jesus says pai tu chhad ke na ja pehla sanu pakka kara ke jai jithe baat kuch kari jai.
But no, for sure, if people feel that they've been offended, then apologies on my behalf as well. So.
And that takes a big man to apologise for that. Sure.
Respect
to you for that. But also, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, buddy.
Param, tu mahal kar ditta garam.
Are we going to get a chance to do some gang now?
Listen, you got to listen to my song first. Param, tu mahal karta garam. Sikh kehde si tenu hagi nahi sharam. Tenu gori mil jani si tenu siga param. But actually, tu banda nikle bahut naram. So, Param, thanks for coming on the show. You seem like a really good bloke.
Love you, man.
If you did have any akkar or anything like that, I would have sussed it out by now. Like I said, things happen in life. But and I wish you luck in your future. And je koi nahi mili na, ta log mainu phone kar lan kudi chahiye er lai. Kudi amritari hove? Vadiya
Not necessarily. No. Really open.
Just breathing. Right? Just kudi hove. Te koi gal nahi munda byaana dekh lo. Byaar na te तू फिकर ना कर, but Friday I'll have you married, mate.
Oh, thanks, man.
तेरे card down order देता. Param, you've been a great laugh.
Thank you, man. Really
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it. Really, thanks for having me down.
Brilliant. Hopefully we'll see you in the future, maybe
Definitely.
on TV
I'd love
and on
to.
other stuff.
Yeah, I'd love
and
to, yeah.
also I'm going to see everyone in Birmingham tomorrow, जिन्होंने आके मिलना मिल सकते हैं. Friday usually थोड़ा ना हमारी जो है immigration के सवालों का जवाब देंगे. From me and Param, don't take us out, but चलो don't take me out. मैं तो घर नू ये हम out भेज दिया. ऐसी सारे नू फिर मेरे मिलते हैं. सारे नू मेरे तो Param वालों सत श्री अकाल.
Okay, this is the pump which has been installed by outside, and the kids on a really hot day like this can cool off. Before there was nothing here, they had to bring water. Thank you to everybody who supported Carl Said in Haiti, and we're doing more wells because look at the difference it makes. These kids, they need to wash. 38 kids in this orphanage, New Vision orphanage, and without this, there's a problem. Is it good?
Yes.
You happy?
Yes, we're so happy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
They're saying thank you to everyone.
Thanks.
We are only good as the people who give us the money. So these little kids can have a bath, yeah, and on a hot day like this, can chill out, right? Right? Yeah? So the most important thing in life, water.
Yeah, you're right.